Fear of negative comments. What happens when you put yourself out there and then the trolls come? The people who don't even know you, who say all kinds of crazy ass stuff. Eventually you kind of, I want to say get used to it. It becomes easier because it just does. But especially at the beginning when you're putting yourself out there and it's very vulnerable, it's like these negative comments confirm what you're hearing internally. You're trying to overcome these negative thoughts about yourself and your work, and here's Joe down the road shouting it over Instagram. Now, usually the advice to folks to kind of move past this is just don't look at it, right? Just don't look at your comments. I just told somebody that the other day. This is actually good advice, because if negative comments are going to paralyze you, then just don't look at them. But the other day I learned about something that blew my mind. In fact, it just changed my mind about this idea of not looking at negative comments, just shutting it all out. There's something else you can do, and it involves savoring. Yeah, savoring. No, you're not going to savor the negative comments. But check this out. I was listening to a conversation between Rob Bell and Richard Rohr, and Richard Rohr was talking about some research that he ran across called Velcro and Teflon theory, Velcro and Teflon effect, something like that. But it shows that we can quickly hold on to something that's negative and process through it a lot faster, the Velcro, than something good. In fact, something good, we have to sit with it. I think he said up to 15 seconds before it actually registers to us, hey, this is good. Isn't that interesting? Something negative happens and we instantly retain it, but our biochemical makeup is designed, or at least has been conditioned, to have to sit with something good for 15 seconds before we process it. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If that's naturally happening in our bodies are naturally absorbing, processing, accepting negative things, and it takes us a while to process, absorb something positive. If we couple that with what we've been culturally conditioned to do, it makes sense that we really, really struggle when we deal with negativity. Here's what I mean. Culturally, we're conditioned, especially those of you who grew up in any kind of religious environment, that you should dismiss and be humble about any compliments, any praises, anything like that. Like, it's humble to, oh, no, no. Somebody says, oh, you look nice. No, not really. Oh, you did a great job. Oh, you did a great job. All this crap that we've been trained is the right thing to do. And what happens is, imagine this, we're actually pushing away all positive reinforcement in our life because we haven't taken a moment to actually savor it. If it takes, again, I think it was 15 seconds, if it takes several seconds to sit with something good, to fully absorb it, we are literally not receiving what is good into our lives. I was at a retreat a few weeks ago with Elizabeth Gilbert, and she complimented someone, and the person did what we do. Oh, no, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. And she says, no, when someone compliments you, rub it in like lotion. Like, sit with it for a minute. Now, this made me feel really uncomfortable because, again, I'm like, that sounds so egotistical. If somebody says, hey, Heather, your podcast is really great or whatever, it feels egotistical to sit with that and be like, really? Thank you. Like, ugh, right? But check this out. The other day I was sitting on the couch with my daughter. She's 7, and she's at that stage where she doesn't want to cuddle as much and she doesn't want to be held as much. Maybe she does, but she kind of pushes away and she doesn't act like it. And the other day I was sitting on the couch with her and I put my arms around her and I was wanting to hold her. And at first she kind of resisted a little bit and I just held her a little bit longer. And then she just kind of sank into me and she even like nudged her head into me. And you can tell she started to relax and really accept my love. And it felt so good. It felt so good as a parent. It felt so good as somebody who was wanting to give love, to let it be received. It was something that I just freaking cherished. And it made me realize, like, how often do I let people love me? And it sounds silly. How often do I let people help me? How much do I let people compliment me? How much do I actually receive the goodness that is being thrown my way? So of course it makes sense to be terrified of negative comments and all these things coming our way because we haven't really stopped and savored and paid attention to all the good that's coming in. And if we could rub it in like lotion and accept it and savor it and sit with it and listen to it, I cannot imagine the state that we would operate from, that we would create from. And not saying that negative comments still won't hurt, but man, if you have opened yourself up to the world of kindness and generosity and really, really, truly learn how to accept it, I think we're going to be so consumed with that goodness that the stings of Joe down the road won't hurt as much. So maybe you're in a season where you just need to close your eyes and not look at the negative comments. Or maybe you're like me, where I'm needing to learn how to not defend against the bad, but actually take an offensive role and lean in and savor and enjoy and accept all that is good. Does this make you uncomfortable? If you're watching on YouTube, comment. Let me know if you have anything to add. If you disagree, I'm open to that too, even if it's a hate comment. Love you guys. See you next week.